So I wanted to come on here and pretty much explain kind of the build, what was the purpose behind buying it, what are my plans with it, what do I aspire this car to be. To start off, it is just gonna be my daily. I do live in Colorado now. Pretty much my W204 Mercedes-Benz is now being driven by my lady. So she also needed a reliable car to get to and from work as well, whenever it snows especially. And that's an all-wheel drive platform as well. It has the 4MATIC and all that. And it's fun, it's safe, it's comfortable. She likes it, and it was a little bit smaller. Now, the reason I picked it up, I've been wanting a sportier car that's manual, that's all-wheel drive, and that I can also have a little bit of fun with, and maybe in the future start building off of as well. I bought it as is. I did not do any sort of modification to this car at all, aside from the WeatherTech floor mats that I put inside of it. Those are always crucial, rubber floor mats, again, because of the snow and the crazy weather changes that happen out here in Colorado. You definitely need to stay ready just in case. You don't want to get your muddy feet inside your car, obviously. I'll kind of let you guys know what's on it now and what are my plans for it. So first, my plans for this car, like I said, again, it is gonna be my daily. It's pretty much fully set up exactly how I've always dreamt of getting a newer generation car. I was between this or an Evo, believe it or not. And I went to go do some numbers. I even looked at a 2007 STI WRX, a Hawkeye, for those who don't know what that is. It's like one of the coolest generations of WRXs that ever came out, personal opinion. But I went to go check it out. I ran the numbers with a lot of dealerships, and I was calling left and right, trying to make things happen. The Evos just kept falling through. You know, I did want to keep within budget, and my budget was $30,000. I said, what can I get that's sporty, fun, all-wheel drive platform that's, you know, $30,000 or less, so my monthly payment isn't exaggerated. And when I went to go do the numbers on these cars, you know, some of the Evos that I looked into were 28, 29. They were pushing, some of them were into 35,000. I was willing to go a little bit above and over for them. But everybody wanted crazy high interest. Oh, right now this economy is doing some crazy stuff with interest and payments, and that brings your payment skyrocket high for a car that has 100,000 miles and that's pretty dated, to say the least. So I did the same thing with the WRX, the older generations, the Hawkeyes. I thought, you know, maybe it might be a cheaper payment. Believe it or not, a 2007 WRX with 77,000 miles, guys, was gonna cost me almost $670 a month because the banks wouldn't finance a long-term. It is an older car. It's considered unreliable, so they wanted a crazy amount of down payment. It was just a mess. So I went to, believe it or not, a Ford dealership. I was scrolling day and night, and I finally came across a really great deal. The pictures were horrible. They had just posted it at 11 p.m. at night. It looked like somebody just took their phone, took really up close pictures. Not even the full car was in it, but just based off the pictures, looking at what these cars go for on the market, I saw the number, I saw how many miles. I got this car with 9,000 miles, guys, for $26,999, $27,000, which is a crazy deal on these new VB WRXs. If you want to get something in this price range, it normally is a lot of miles for $27,000. I've seen them go all day with 30,000 miles for the same price that I paid for this one. I was pretty much just left with this, and the deal was just too great to pass up. I went to a place called Groove Ford. Groove sells everything. They own different branches of different brands. They own Subaru, Mazda, Ford. They have different dealerships, should I say. And pretty much they came across this one for a trade-in at the Ford dealership. I was able to go pick it up for a steal of a price. They really were just trying to get rid of it, is what it seemed like to me. And it just made sense for me. The payment was great. The interest was pretty moderate for what it could have been, given my credit as well. That obviously takes into play. But this was just such a great deal, guys. I couldn't pass it up. Now, going into my next topic, why I bought this car, I needed one to begin with. I was starting to let my lady drive her car a lot more. I was starting to take the E36 out, which I don't know if you guys knew this, but I treat that like my baby. I love to build it. I love to have fun with it, but I also don't like to drive it everywhere because it's not necessarily the most reliable yet. It still has a lot of work to get done. That being said, I ended up going with something reliable that I could have fun with, but also keep relatively stock and push on for a couple of years to come. Leading into my next topic of what's done to this car. So the car is tinted. It's pretty nice. I like it. It's dark, but not crazy dark to where I can't see at night. This is my very first car, believe it or not, with front windshield tint. Now, this is like a 25%. It's pretty dark, guys. I would maybe have gone a little bit lighter, but it definitely does help keep the rays of sunlight out. I don't have to throw on my shades every time I'm driving, so no complaint there. But the window tint is there all around, by the way, front, rear, all the side windows. The side windows are definitely like I'd probably say a 15%. Leading on to the next thing from there, it came stock with these wind deflectors. I don't know if they're OEM or aftermarket, but they're pretty cool. They're pretty snazzy. They look nice on the car, and I like to keep my windows cracked a lot of the time when I'm rolling, and if it's raining as well. It's very humid inside of the car, so I crack the windows open to kind of like push that humidity out, and it keeps a lot of the water from coming into the car while the windows are cracked. Next is the headlights. So they literally just have these overlay stickers on the side. I think it makes the car look a lot more aggressive and gives it a little bit more darker tones here and there, which contrasts great against this white. The last owner ended up putting these 19-inch wheels from the last generation 2015 to 2021 WRXs, which I really think are very, very nice. He powder coated them black, a gloss black, which I absolutely love against this paint. They go very, very well together. They are wrapped in the Advanced Sports. They're very, very great tires when it's dry. However, when it gets wet or when there's other weather around, they don't catch much grip, as to why I want to go with something different. But that's for the next topic, which we'll get into a little bit. Now on the rear, just like the front headlights, the tail lights have little overlay tint that helps kind of give that darker tone on the rear, which I really, really like. Honestly, I think it stands out a lot. It makes the car look a little bit more edgy, more aggressive, which I truly love. And then this Yakima wind deflector on the top. This is pretty cool. Since I do have a Thule, this helps keep all the wind from getting up underneath it. It does help pretty much deflect a lot of the wind and not make so much whistling noise. If you have a Thule or a snow box on top of your car, you'll know what I'm talking about. You gotta crank that music up a little bit louder than usual just to not hear it. It also came with these OEM roof racks, which I really, really love. Obviously, again, to mount my Thule, and I could just, you know, change it out from my Benz to this one and vice versa, and makes it very, very easy. And I didn't have to go buy them. It's something I definitely would have done and looked for, and it was already there. So can't say no to that. Inside there is a short shifter bracket plate. I'll try to find kind of what it looks like. Pretty much it's just a block off plate that helps the throws of the shifts go to like, maybe it helps by like 10, 15%. It definitely gives it a little bit of a shorter throw. Right now it's like kind of rattled away and the throws of the shifter are normal again. So I'll probably just get that removed, but it came with the car. And then the blow off valve as well. So you hear a lot of the sneezing from the turbo coming out. As far as I know, it's an aftermarket blow off valve is what it sounds like. Now leading me into second to last thing, the axle back exhaust on this car is really, really nice. So pretty much it's just the tips at the very end. Now it pretty much just gets rid of the mufflers that do come original with this car, and it opens it up a lot more, lets it breathe a little bit better, and it sounds just a whole lot greater than what I ever thought this car was gonna sound like. So of course, when that salesman fired it up for the first time, I immediately fell in love with the sound. It was great for being an axle back and just tip exhaust. It's amazing. I want to end off too on the paint matched rear spoiler. The STI styled spoiler is literally one of my favorite. It's definitely one of those things where I wanted it, and honestly it was just a blessing placed in front of me. It was already pretty much accented the way I accent all my other cars. Any vehicle that I do try to get, I try to get it in white or in silver, and I like to put gloss black accents everywhere I possibly can. This one, white, it already came with a lot of black accents, and it's made perfect pretty much for the daily. So I'm very much just enjoying it for what it is. I do, however, have plans in the future to get things built. I want to go maybe a full pair-in build, and they offer a wider selection of accessories and functional components for the vehicle, which is why I would choose to go with pair-in. I've kind of looked into the aftermarket world. It is still very, very new. It's only 2 years old right now. It'll be 3 years soon, but still 3 years for a car is not very long for a lot of manufacturers and a lot of, car brands to really get every component out possible. So they still got a lot of development to go, which I look very much forward to. And I really would love to see where this build will take us. I really want to do a lot of things to it, a lot of accessories, a lot of things that just make it handle a little bit better. As far as going as deep as a tune, I'm not 100% sure yet. I really want to keep the reliability of this car for as long as possible, and staying away from a tune for as long as possible is going to do that. So there's a lot of plans for little accessory pieces that are not too expensive and pretty much just style the car for what I want. It's already fast enough for me as a daily. It's fun, I enjoy it, and I don't want to really change too much about it because it was built so great from factory. Obviously, I say that now. Watch it be a complete crazy 700, 800 horsepower build in the future. That's the hope, as long as I could get myself another daily, and then we can go crazy with this one. So right now we have a lot of plans for the E36. Give it a little bit more edgy look. This one definitely is gonna take the cake on that. It has a lot more aggressive lines. They refined a lot of things that I found wrong with the old WRX, and I think they really went crazy and gave you every aggressive piece possible from, any perspective you look at this car. A lot of people were hating on it. I think it's very, very great looking, and it's very aggressive looking. I love it. It's very, very much rally. Such a great platform to just enjoy on a regular, and if you want to do it up, go off-roading, or go do pretty much whatever you want with this car. Track it, go do a mountain run, go do a canyon run, whatever it is. These cars hold up really well thus far. I have yet to take it on my first canyon run. I literally just take corners wherever I'm going, and this car grips and goes. It's fun. Man, I enjoy this car, I really do. I look forward to the future build of this car. I definitely just wanted to let you guys in on what's to come, why I bought it, who, why, when, where, why, all the questions pretty much. So hopefully that answered some of your guys' questions. Comment any other questions that you guys do have. I'm open to answering pretty much every comment that I have, I get to. And if I miss it, it might take me a few days or a few weeks, but I get to it. So definitely drop me a comment, drop a like, and yeah, that was a wrap for who, what, when, where, why on this car. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it and look forward to it as much as I do come the near future.